Well, hello motherfuckers, Crazy Gamano again, and I'm back with a new video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It's been a couple years since I've done a video like this, so I'm very happy to bring you guys another Q&A video. I went ahead and asked some friends on Twitter and Facebook, and I got some very awesome answers from great friends of mine. So this is the return of the Q&A video. I am a little sick, so I do apologize if you hear me catching for air or drinking a lot of water in between questions, but I'm very excited to do this video, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the questions. Like I said, I want to give a big thank you to everyone who took the time to ask me a question. I really do appreciate that. And like I said, I got questions from Twitter and Facebook. I'm kind of just gonna put them all together. No specific order. I'm just gonna go but one by one. So the first question is from Facebook, my good buddy Sir William. So Sir William, thank you, sir. This is a two-part question. How did your video game obsession start? Now it basically started, I've kind of explained this before. Long story short, about 12 years ago I went into a Goodwill just to see what they had. I found an Atomic Purple N64 controller for 15 bucks, just a system, and I was like, holy shit, like this is awesome. I remember having this as a kid. I went to the Ross that was actually right next to the Goodwill. I told my mom, hey, I found the N64. Can I buy it? It's 15 bucks. She gave me 20. So I go to the Goodwill and the cashier rings me up and she says, hey, did you know this is half off? You know, instead of 15 bucks, you only pay $7.50. And I was just like, well, let me go ahead and grab that. Ring me up real quick. So I went ahead and got that. And after that, I was just kind of like, okay, well, I found this for $7. You know, what else can I find? I kind of wonder what other deals are out there. So I just kept hitting up the Goodwills. You know, I would do good in school, do chores around the house to get a little bit extra money from my mom. And from there, I would use that to purchase video games. And I mean, keep in mind, this was a time where video games were like really dirt cheap. Not a lot of people were really collecting for it. So you were able to find a whole bunch of great stuff for like a few bucks, you know. Those are definitely the good times. And that's kind of how my obsession started. And the other part of the question he asked is that, would there be a reason for you to stand back from collecting? The only reason I can really think of right now is like really putting collecting on the back seat is if I got with somebody, you know, if I got with a nice girl, hey, and if we ended up having a kid. If I got her pregnant and she told me, hey, we got a kid on the way, then I would definitely be able to save up money for the baby, you know, all that good stuff, and definitely put collecting in the back seat. I would definitely have to stop that for a while, you know, just so when the baby comes, you know, that would probably be the only reason I would really stand back from collecting at this point. I'm still having fun with it. I'm still finding good deals here and there, and I still have Retro City games, Grand Line games, always taking care of me. So right now, I'm happy. I have the money to do it, so I really have no reason to stop as of right now. So, Sir William, thank you for the question. I really do appreciate that. Next question is from the gorgeous one, Gorgeous George. Thank you, sir, for asking me a question. There's three parts of this question. So, if a zombie outbreak broke out and you had to go to a save zone, you could only take one system and one game with you, what would it be and why? I have two answers for this. I would take my CMVS with the 161 and 1, therefore I can play most of the Neo Geo games. I can kind of take that with me, be able to enjoy all these Neo Geo games on one cart. Or I would go with the PS3 and Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. That actually comes with 50 Sega Genesis games, basically the best Genesis games on one disc. I would definitely take that as well, just in case if I wasn't able to take the MVS with me. Next question from the gorgeous one is that, is there a game that you regret selling or trading off? One game that definitely comes to mind was Demon's Crest. Now I had this completed box on the Super Nintendo. I mean, I got it for dirt cheap, but I had a friend of mine who actually really wanted the game, and he was getting rid of some Neo Geo stuff. And he had a Neo Geo game that I was very interested in. This is an awesome fighting game, kind of right up my alley. It's a very awesome, realistic, weapon-based fighting game, similar to Samurai Showdown. And at the time we did the trade, I want to say this was about like 5 years ago. At the time, from what I remember, Demon's Crest was like about a $70 to $80 game, complete in box. This was about a $90, sometimes $100 game. So I got a little bit of the better end of the deal, and that game that I traded Demon's Crest for was this game right here, The Last Blade. And this is a very excellent fighting game based off of weapons, you know, like I said, similar to Samurai Showdown. Music in this game is awesome, the graphics, just the overall style of the game, the animation sprites, the character sprites look very, very excellent. And I definitely have to say, you know, I'm very happy with the trade, but if I can get the game back in the collection, I definitely would. At the time, I didn't really like Demon's Crest too much. I thought it was okay, but I didn't really appreciate it back then like I do now. Like I've been playing the game on the SNES Classic, and I'm like, damn, like, you know, I don't have this game no more. But at the end of the day, I was really happy with the trade anyways, because I got a very awesome game for the Neo Geo out of it. And you know, for me, I'd rather collect Neo Geo because that's a little bit of priority over Super Nintendo. But for the sake of the question, that was my biggest regret, you know, getting rid of Demon's Crest. But I mean, I can't be too mad because I did get an awesome game out of it. The last question, one game you want to go back to and finish. Now there's 3 games that come to mind. Shantae on the PS4, I need to go back to that one. Onimusha 3 and Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. I've gotten pretty far in Onimusha 3. I'm at where you have to fight one of the bosses, not in the Alpha Tower, but one of the Notre Dame buildings. I'm in that part. It's been quite a while since I played that game. And Dawn of Dreams, I think the last place I finished that game off when I was in some Japanese village. You're in this like really narrow alleyway, and you're fighting this like crazy like insect type scorpion thing, and it has like kanji writing on its wings. It's a really hard battle because it's going back and forth the alleyway, and you really have to hit it at the right time. Luckily you have somebody, a character within the game, to assist you, and you can kind of command that person to either, you know, stand his guard or attack the enemy, which is pretty good. I definitely have to go back to that game and finish it, those 3 games. So thank you, George, for asking me that question. I really do appreciate that. Next question is from Twitter, my good buddy Joe, aka FullMetal1777. So thank you, Joe. He asked me, do you think you will ever stop collecting and or stop gaming altogether? I can tell you without a fact, I will never stop gaming, no matter what. That's just something that has been stuck on me since I was pretty much a little kid, and I will always love gaming no matter what. As far as collecting, you never really know. I would say for now, no, but who knows, 10, 20 years down the line, I might end up, you know, stop collecting if the prices just keep going up. Say if the prices just keep going up and up and up and they never seem to go down, I'd probably end up giving up collecting and just keeping a lot of the systems that I do want to keep, and just buying EverDrives, and I can just call it a day, have all the games on an SD card on an EverDrive, call it a day. But I can never stop gaming because that's a passion of mine. It's an awesome form of entertainment that I have, and also a good way to relieve stress whenever I'm having a bad day from work, or just something that I do just to, you know, kill time that keeps me happy. So I can never stop gaming. But collecting, who knows? Maybe I will stop collecting one day, but right now, I definitely have to say no to that answer. So thank you, Joel. Very good question. Definitely made me have to think a little bit. Another question from Twitter, from my buddy D Secretaya, and he asks, if you can only play one video game franchise for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? This is a very good question. It really made me think. I had to think of a series that had a lot of genres within the franchise, and I know this is kind of a weird answer, kind of unusual for me, you know, coming from me, but I would have to say the Mario franchise, just because the Mario games cover a wide variety of genres. You know, you have the platformers, you got sports games, you got puzzle, RPGs, I guess, strategy with the Mario and Rabbids game. Racing games, the Mario Kart series, the Mario Party games, you know, with the party games. And I don't know if you would consider Super Smash Brothers as part of the Mario franchise since he's in it, and it's basically all Nintendo characters. I don't know if you would consider that, but just for the sake of the question, if you were able to include that into the Mario franchise, I would choose Mario just because he covers a lot of different genres, and he's basically the main star from all those games. So I would consider those to be Mario games within the franchise, you know, or games within the Mario universe. So I would say Mario just because, like I said, he covers a wide variety of genres. So thank you, Christopher. Greatly appreciate the question. Now we got a couple questions from my girl, Melissa. And let's see what she has. So thank you for asking me. You can follow her on Neon Roxy on Twitter. And one question she asked me is there any purchases that you regret? This Tamiya Thomas wave. I should have done more research before I bought it. I got one for a really good price, so that's why I went ahead and picked it up. But the games are like near impossible to find, and they're god-awful expensive too. And once I saw that, I was just kind of like, okay, I'm done with I'm done with the system, because basically like 80% of the great games that are on the system, you can get it on Xbox and like PS2. So I was just like, okay, I'm done with you. So that was a big regret right there for sure. And the other question she asked was, what's a game you are dying to have in your collection or collectible? A game that I would like to have in my collection. There are a couple games, like for one, PC Engine. I would definitely love to have Super Raiden, R-Type Complete, Koryun. You know, there's a lot of good shmups for the PC Engine that I would love to have. The N64, Sin and Punishment, the Neo Geo, KOF 2003, Samurai Showdown 5, Last Blade 2, Mark of the Wolves. Those are games I would definitely love to have, but they are just god-awful expensive. So, you never know, maybe one day, if they go down in price. Let's see, I mean, from the top of my head, that's all I can really think of, you know? As far as collectibles, I don't know, any like SNK related Neo Geo collectibles, I would definitely love those. You know, there was a couple of Fatal Fury and Samurai Showdown little figures from like the 90s that kind of look like amiibo as far as packaging. They look like amiibo, so I definitely want to check those out. You know, whenever I do go to Japan, I would definitely have to hunt those down because they look really cool, and it's definitely something I would want for the collection. So thank you, Melissa, for the awesome questions. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And the last set of questions are from my good buddy Sarumaru. This is from Facebook. So Sarumaru, I know you've been really busy with the new game, but I appreciate you taking the time to ask me a couple questions, some good ones too. So greatly appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Now, he asked two questions for me, so these are the last questions for the video. The first question is there a system that you want to collect for but haven't yet? A system that I would definitely love to collect for, but it's really expensive, is the Sharp X68000. Now, I've heard a lot of reviews about the system. I mean, I've seen reviews on it, and it seems like all the games that are on the system are like excellent ports of arcade games. You know, it has a lot of great Konami ports, Capcom ports. You know, you have like the Twin B, Salamander, Gradius, and then you have like Street Fighter 2 on it, you have Castlevania on it. And, you know, just from the library of games, there were so many awesome games on the Sharp X68000, and they were awesome ports, like very close to arcade original. And I'm just like, man, I would love to collect for the system, you know, just because a lot of the games on it are excellent games. But, you know, it's a very awesome Japanese system, never came out here, and for some reason it is like crazy expensive. I wouldn't say money really is an issue, but space is an issue. I have more issues with space than money. But who knows? Maybe one day I can collect for it. Maybe if I do go to Japan, I might find a good deal. You never know. So that would answer that question. And the last question he asked for me is, do you see yourself collecting more imports? Absolutely yes. In this point in time, in my opinion, I'd honestly rather stick with imports more than domestic games for certain systems like AES. It's a lot easier to find, a lot cheaper, they look a lot cooler. Sega Mega Drive, definitely on that. Super Famicom, Saturn, especially Sega Saturn, because the Sega Saturn, they come in original, CD jewel cases. They don't come in these big ass cases that just like break easily and take up a lot of space. For the most part, I do prefer collecting Japanese games over the American counterpart, just because the packaging looks a lot better. For the most part, it's a lot cheaper to collect for, and a lot of the games, especially the games that I like, you don't really need to know a lot of Japanese to play it, since there's not a lot of kanji, text-heavy content within the game. So yeah, I definitely see myself collecting more imports, just because, like I said, they look a lot cooler on the shelf, and they're pretty much cheaper than the American counterparts. Not all the time, but for the most part. So yeah, that's all the questions that I got, and I want to thank everybody who asked me a question. And if you want to ask me a question for the next video, please feel free to hit me up on Twitter under Crazy Cubano. You can hit me up on Facebook, or you can drop a comment. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out Seek Find Play, check out Sarumaro, check out DC Gradaya, check out their channels. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thanks for putting up with me and my raspy voice. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.